Last time on Two Fat Guys Pool List.
X-Men Planet Size issue number 1.
Yes.
Oh my goodness. This was a good issue, and I think we both said in our comic book haul video that it was going to be a rough week in trying to pick what our picks of the week were going to be.
Mm-hmm.
And so now we've come to the conclusion that there will be multiple picks of the week in this episode. We're just kind of cheating because it's too hard.
There will be multiple picks of the week, but I have a specific book that I want you to push the button on for me.
For you? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I think I have one too. But can we both agree that this was both
of yeah, this is a pick of the week for sure.
So let's just hit the button really quick.
There's going to be a lot of button pushes here.
Perfect. Anyway, so we get Gary on this, we get Pepe Larraz on this, on the artwork, and we get Garcia on the coloring or the lettering. I can't.
Gracia.
Want to make sure. Gracia. I just want to make sure we get all the credits on these books because we've also made a stand here on Twitter that we don't give full credit sometimes when we talk about books. Sometimes we just talk about the writer, or we talk about the artist. We want to make sure that everybody gets their full credit. This book is amazing.
Yeah, I was at first when this came out, and it's called Planet Sized, and I was like, it's just 48 pages. It's not a lot. Like, that's not a Planet Size would be like, I don't know, 150 pages.
Right.
Oh, now I get it.
Yeah, it's quite literally about a planet. What we get in this book is we essentially, the mutants 100% show that they are capable of turning any planet in the galaxy, in the universe, whatever you want to call it, into a habitable planet within hours or days. So we get in this issue. Magneto essentially comes up with a plan to terraform Mars in the name of mutantdom. And, there's a lot of decisions that go into doing this. I think one of them is, in X-Corp 1, the mutants lost one of their facilities to grow Krakoan plants. So they need more space and something that's not necessarily on Earth to continue that production and keep up with the pace of production of those plants, because Earth is just greedy as always, and everybody wants those drugs. So that's one reason why they do this. The other major reason why they do this is that our newest addition to the Krakoan era, Arakko, that specific island, the mutants are all about war. They're all about violence, and it's in their nature to go conquer. So they've been quietly and not so quietly taking over spots on Earth and kind of fucking up everything for the Krakoan society, essentially.
Yeah.
So they come, the mutants come to a plan, including Arakkans, that they need to take the island of Arakko and move it to Mars so that they can kind of have their own fucking planet and they can just chill out and not necessarily be messing up the non-violent Krakoan island, because we're still in this idea that Krakoa is going to conquer the Earth peacefully and not with violence. So Arakko kind of fucks that up a little bit.
Yeah. Big time.
Big time. Well, I went too far.
I will say, I especially like, by the way, it's going to be hard to describe, but just the intense montage sort of feel that we get from this book. It usually a montage kind of feels like you're speeding things up, but I feel like this didn't feel that way. It felt like there was a lot of time given to thinking out how are we going to parse out people's existing powers and utilize them to fill in and make this planet. Now, there was a couple of Iraqi mutants that we hadn't seen before now that they added, but they have really cool power sets, really, really bizarre powers.
Yeah, you've got one guy that can create, he can create a water source from his blood, and then one of the Summers kids, and is it Hope? I think it's Hope Summers.
Yeah, it's not Summer Kid. It's Cyclops' brother. I can't remember his name.
There you go. and Jamie Braddock are, they're amplifiers, and so they're able to amplify this idea of creating an ocean with this dude's blood, which is really fucking cool. So he creates the ocean on Mars, and then there's another one. He's like an insect, but he like carries within himself the DNA or the how do you say it? Just the life blood or the components to create life on a planet.
Right.
And he dissolves himself. Like he becomes like the essence of the planet to like feed it.
Right. It was pretty cool.
And then, we get other, in order for Mars to even inhibit life, like Magneto throws like half a sized planet of iron into the core of Mars to heat it up. You have Iceman and Storm going toe to toe and creating an atmosphere on Mars. It's fucking crazy. Like it just shows you that they don't. The mutants can literally do whatever the hell they want. They're immortal. They can create planets. They can just hop. It doesn't matter. So that's what we get in this book. And we also, I'll go back to what you were saying, like this montage feel. The writing style in this book feels very much like Hickman. And I give Gary credit there because it felt like he kind of took some notes, right? And saw how like Hoxpox was written. And I'm assuming he's like, Zoom meeting with Hickman all the time. And so like out of outside of like certain little phrases that clearly are Gary's thing, it did feel like this was a Hickman book, which I appreciated because, everyone's so up in arms right now with the fact that Hickman's not writing an X-Men book.
Yeah.
And this is you would kind of think this would have been his last hurrah, but no, this is more of like the first chapter for Gary.
Right.
And then Pepe Larraz on this book, it just feels so good. It feels natural. It really, just the panels in this book are just so grandiose and so detailed. And I just think you can't. I don't know. There are other artists that are ridiculously awesome, right? But I just feel like Pepe Larraz was made for X-Men.
Well, yes, and I think he's going to be really, really good on the X-Men ongoing. But there's just something about the way that they've utilized him during the big moments of this era so far. It's almost like a signaling to you like something epic is happening. Like just having that extra, I don't know, oomph of art really makes it feel like we're at a important time.
For sure. And, we get a lot of answers in this book that, obviously we've been waiting for. The other Gala books have kind of like hinted at it. And we get some answers from previous books like in Marauders with Cyclops and Captain America, having a dialogue after this big reveal. And him and his concern, the planet is concerned when Arakko showed up and there were an extra, I don't know how many number of new mutants on the planet. So like, it felt like almost like a declaration of war, even though the mutants didn't look at it that way. But the rest of the world's population is like, holy shit, we're being outnumbered within a day. And so a lot of things are answered in this book, which is nice. A lot of concepts and the idea and reinforcing of the fact that the mutants are just OP are in this book. Like at one point, Jean Grey and who was the other mutant that put that idea in Jamie's head about the sword base? Kid Omega. They literally like do an inception and implant Jean Grey impregnates Jamie Braddock's brain with an idea, and it's illustrated like when she does it, like a sperm goes into his brain and then an egg is created in his brain of an idea of a second sword base. And that's how she was able to deliver the idea. And Jamie Braddock, being the insane person that he is, literally impregnated himself with a sword base. And because he's a reality warper, the base rips out of his stomach and grows out into space. And like when I read that, ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous, but I fucking love it because I remember reading it and I was like, oh, there's my first oh shit moment. Like obviously this entire issue is an oh shit moment, but that's just fucking stupid crazy. I think it's a direct like commentary on how crazy Jamie is, because he literally could have just snapped it into an existence, but because he's so fucking just wicked, yeah, he quite literally birthed the second sword base. So we're gonna I think next week we get sword, the next sword issue, which is a red issue. So I think we're gonna find out how what's her name, the head of sword,
Abigail Brand,
see how she deals with the fact that she's going to have to hire more mutants, because now she has 2 sword bases. We'll see what happens there. Anyway, huge implications in this, and I do believe, as much as we weren't expecting it, and it's kind of obvious that this is what it is, this thing's got huge implications, I think, within the Marvel universe, if they do it right.
It has the opportunity to do so. I will say that, like, this book has me really excited for the possibilities. I mean, I think it would be super cool. It's not that we need to have a huge event and Captain America tie-ins and stuff, but, like, you know, I'm excited for the possibility of Daredevil running into one of the mutants and having a conversation about what's going on in Mars and stuff like that. And you know, eventually I'm sure there will be some kind of big event. I mean, who knows? Inferno could be the first thing that really starts affecting the Marvel universe. But it's been a long time since, not a long time, but it's been a while since the events that Marvel has done have had lasting ramifications for the publishing in general.
Right.
You know, like, you look back at Civil War and you look at Secret Invasion and stuff like that, and there's, like, big changes, you know, like drastic changes that last for a while, that impact books. And so I would be curious to see if we can do something with that here.
I hope it does. I have high hopes, and I think they can. We'll see what happens. I mean, I think every time one of these X-Men event books come out, we always set the bar really high, and we have, like, these what if ideas, like, oh man, we could just do this, and then it ends up being something kind of meh. But, you know, like you said, we've got Inferno coming up. I think that's going to be, I don't think Hickman's not going to drop a ball there. You know what I mean? Like, I think he'll do a decent job at, like, really hitting a home run. But that being said, Planet-Size X-Men, fantastic issue, writing on point, Pepe Larraz's art, amazing. Coloring on this, absolutely fantastic. It was a good book. It reminded me, just like issue 20 of Hickman's X-Men, this reminds me of good Hoxpox. And I think that's all. I think all of us really are just yearning for that. You know, obviously we want different stories, but we want our base core X-Men story to feel like Hoxpox, because that just felt so innovative and new and just kind of edgy, and I think we just want to get back to that a little bit.